This is the sunroof chassis removed from the car so I could see how everything works. I removed almost everything from the chassis. As you can see, there's not much to the chassis itself. There's a rubber seal around the periphery of the chassis that seals the chassis to the underside of the roof to prevent any water that gets into the chassis from splashing out onto the car and headliner. Any water that does get into the chassis will be drained through the 4 drain holes located in each corner of the chassis. There are 2 tubes here that are connected to the cables that are connected to the sunroof motor and drive mechanism. The cables push or pull the sliding inner panel to open or close it. More on that later. There are 2 rails that the sunroof inner panel rides and glides upon. These are 4 brackets that hold the sliding inner panel that allow the panel to smoothly slide up and down the rails. Now the sliding interior panel has been installed on the chassis, connected to these rails with those brackets and glides that I was shown earlier. These brackets have side-to-side adjustment, so it should be able to center the interior panel to the chassis and take out all the side-to-side play so that this panel cannot get turned sideways and get jammed. When it's properly adjusted, the panel should be able to slide back and forth smoothly. Now on my particular sunroof, these rear brackets had gotten loose and allowed the guides to fall off the rail, so it was no longer attached. So when it slid open and closed, you could hear the guides coming in and out of these strengthening ribs in the chassis. You can see the wear marks where it was sliding, so it didn't sound too good. The exterior panel is now sitting on top of the sliding interior panel. It's secured with 4 screws on the front edge, and the back of that is held by 2 springs, which allows the rear of the exterior panel to be raised and lowered to fit the roof. And it opens, closes like that. I've installed the pop-up wind deflector. There's 2 Allen head screws that hold it on. When the sunroof is closed, the weight of the panel pushes down on the wind deflector and it goes down. When it's open, the springs allow it to raise up. In order for the interior panel to slide on the tracks. It's operated by a drive motor which drives pulls or pushes this cable. Cable fits through this tube. And it is attached to the interior panel with this bracket and bolted down. It's kind of a strange arrangement to hold this down. It's a spring-loaded affair. I'll show some close-ups of that. Okay, here at the close to the end of the tubes, there's a lifting block installed. Can't see these two studs very well, but they mount on this. This lifting block raises the rear of the exterior metal panel when it's fully closed. There's also a little dealie here that supports the end of this tube to keep it from wagging its tail. Here it is installed. You can see that the sliding block here has some adjustment in it so that you can set it to where it raises the roof at the proper time and height. This is the other end of the cables. When the motor and gear assembly turns this pinion gear, the cable has got a wire wrapped around it so that when it turns, it either pulls or pushes the cable. Pushes it closed and pulls it open. The excess, if I can back up, there's a short piece of cable housing that captures the free end of the cable. And there's a cover, when bolted on, holds the ends of the cable housings in place. Okay, the cover holding the ends of the cable housings are in place. Make sure that the cable housing ends are captured in these four slits. Okay, I've got the motor hooked up to a battery. I'm going to go ahead and open the sunroof. Starts to open, the wind deflector pops up, reaches the end. I have to manually disconnect it. Reverse polarity to close it. The rear of the panel pops up. Wind deflector goes down. It's fully closed.